Greetings, this is Hinnom, part 11, and this is also going to be part 12, because I recorded up to turn 56, and turns out I had some separate microphone plugged in, so it sounded terrible. So this is sort of going to be a supercut version, because I don't have the patience to do all that recording over again. But basically, here's Lanka hitting Vanheim's PD. He's got a lot of Sacreds here. He's got a lot of Mages. Oh, this is way too loud. Just chill out Halo music. He takes the province, no issue, but he still has to take out the fort. And he does crack it immediately. I'm just sort of moving units around, blood hunting. My plan is to use leech spam, forging stuff, sending items to Lanka, which I'll do that routinely because he's, because I want the game to end. I want him to win so I could stop playing. He casts Will of Misery again. The thing just keeps getting dispelled routinely, so. And here's Vanheim walking out. He's got a bunch of Van Jarls who are... Where are the thugged ones? His God is out. His Frostfather's out. Here's one. He's got a few others. Yeah, these guys up here. This guy's got a Firebrand. He has a huge line of Vanhears. Lanka has a bunch of Sacreds. He has very few Mages. He only has 3. He has like 3 normal Mages. Oh, he's got this guy who's thugged to hell and back. But he's got this woman, this thick air woman to cast stuff, but Vanheim has the absolute mage advantage, unquestionably. I think Vanheim even has just more troops in general. You can see Leech does a lot of work. Like, Leech deletes a lot of Vanhears, but he's only got a very small number of mages casting Leech. That guy actually ran off, the thug. Yeah, so Vanheim wins. It's pretty Pyrrhic, but he did manage to hold off Lanka. I think primarily just because Lanka didn't have any mages in this battle. It's just sort of throwing troops away. And I get it, you're trying to be efficient with your mage turns and have them do other things, like improve your research instead of being out fighting, but I think this could have been a game-ending win. Lightning resistance would have been a pretty good start. This is also a pretty good example of why Lanka's Sacreds, although he was outnumbered 2-1, his Sacreds just suck. They're just trash units. Or perhaps if you don't want to make that claim, then you can say, alright, the Vanheir's just OP. Vanheir's just a busted unit. In that battle, Vanheim casted Bless and Strength of Giants. That's all he did on his Vanheir's, and they slaughtered everything. Either this unit is stupidly broken and like unbelievably brain dead, or Lanka's Sacreds are trash. And I think it's actually both. I think it's a bit of both. I'm taking some Vanheim provinces. And on this turn, oh, this is the turn we just looked at. I don't need to look at it. I can go to turn 58. Took a bunch of provinces. I stupidly forgot that this was a forest, so I send some mages to die. I sacrifice them to the Lord of the Hunt. Urmor walks in and takes this province from Lanka. I'm just taking all these guys and retreating. I don't know why I put these wolves in the same order as the Hoburgs. Probably because the amount of time I'm spending on these turns is sort of reflected in the videos. My goal is just to reclaim the Holy Land and conquer Vanheim. So our province over here was taken by Vanheim, but then immediately after Vanheim took this province, a massive Atlantean army walked in. So this is pretty big. He's got some like random indie stuff, but it's a lot of living pillars. And I'm curious how Okay, some of them are diseased, some of them are messed up. I don't know who does it, but oh, maybe they just were naturally. I think this army's too big, and the dude doesn't have any, like, his gods in this army, his Mephisto. It's just like, whoa, nature mage 11. But it, like, wow, big supply bonus, but I think that's actually not enough. I think his provinces that he's in is not providing enough supplies, and yeah, his guys are starving. So this big army is gonna walk on Vanheim and take it. I'm just forging stuff, nothing interesting. I learned that you can shift left click to move items in this inventory, which is really cool. Casting Blight on Vanheim just to screw him over. Here we can see Atlantis' army in full. It's pretty big, but there's a lot of like random indie trash just thrown in there to make the army weaker. Like Bone Tribe Beast Hunters or Militia. Why? It just makes it weak. Oh, that's the turn we were on. Oops, sorry, we gotta go to turn 60. I cast Bowl of Blood a bunch of times to try to find if Israel has sacred blood virgins, but don't get any. Atlantis walks in on this province and cracks the fort instantly. I'm still forging a bunch of stuff. Straight to turn 61. And this is a fun battle. We can see Vanheim sallying forth to attack Atlantis with a much, much smaller army than he used to fight off Lanka. And I just, like, here, I want you to watch what Atlantis' god casts in this battle. Don't worry, it'll be over really quick. Because he casted Howl first, right? Cast Howl, Strength of Gaia, and then Panic. And you just cast Panic for the rest of the battle. A really fun feature about the Van here is they are Berserk, so Panic and other morale stuff doesn't affect them because they have morale 99. So they will never rout. So basically Atlantis' god does nothing for this battle. Most of Atlantis' troops are like just big HP blobs, like these sea trolls that don't do anything except get chopped up and die, or these fall bears that don't do anything but get chopped up and die. And so many of his living pillars are starving that their legs are broken or their spines are snapped, and they're so slow to get to the front line that by the time they get up here, like basically all of Atlantis' army is dead. Or rather, all of Atlantis' front line was killed. Frankly, all of Vanheim's army is dead. But you can see this is like the March of the Crippled Brigade. Like, these units are just starving. They can't fight. Also, something very special that happened this battle is Atlantis has all these Basalt Kings, which are all Earth 3, or at least that guy's Earth 4, mages with Earth Gems. Like, okay, ready to cast lightning resistance on their whole army. And all they do is cast Earth Elementals. And then, was that like Flying Shards or something? What do they do? No, Sailor's Death. Just like useless spells. And his god gets sniped by a random lightning bolt. So, haha. I guess. I mean, this is just like, this is like a train wreck of scripting. Everything that could have possibly went wrong, basically. There was no reason Vanheim should have won this battle. Not in a million years should Vanheim have won. Atlantis had everything going for him. Like, the only thing that maybe was pulling him back was he didn't have the same number of mages, but these mages are insane. They're so good. He could do so much with these. Like, the water is pointless, but he at least could have cast water elementals. You know, at least cast a water elemental instead of an earth elemental. And his god gets killed for nothing. Like, he kills a lot of Vanheers. This is a more destructive defeat for, or rather, a bigger destructive loss for Vanheim than what he had with Lanka. But still, he shouldn't have won. I've sent a Melkart who I've kitted out with this fun wave breaker, which casts friendly currents and some other neat items to go take the lake on this province from Russ. And he casts Astral Shield, so anyone who attacks him has to make an MR check or get paralyzed, which is exactly what's happening to most of these Tritons. And these knights are really expensive. They cost 50 gold. I mean, it's the AI, so who cares, really? He's got no path to victory, but... Yeah, we kill the PD here. We take this random province from Vanheim. We've successfully reclaimed everything on our little island, so, and even more, so we're not exactly the total statelet that we've been. Lanka puts down some sort of ritual blood magic spell. I don't remember what it was. I think it's Horde from Hell or something. Well, something similar to that, because he just like plops a bunch of units here and starts sieging it. The point was to stop Van here production. I'm still blighting Vanheim too. Just go to turn 63. Vanheim just walks out and cleans up the stuff over there. We take this province down here. We take the lake over here, which is very nice. It gives me 2 nature gems, so I've doubled my nature gem income. And I'm really casting a lot of spells. Why was I doing nothing with my god? How silly. I cast Stellar Focus this turn, which is fun. Gets 5 Astral Pearls a turn. I don't know how long I can maintain it. But it sure is nice to have these gem generators up. It's really, like, the amount of gem income I have for being such a tiny nation is just crazy. What else am I doing? I'm forging things, making another Melkart this turn. Gonna take these troops and walk on to Vanheim. I've brought out my Father Ill-Earth to fight, who is basically immune to everything except, like, Soul Slay. And he really needed an Amulet of Resistance, and I just sort of forgot to give it to him. I gave it to this guy instead on accident. I should have swapped that around with the Bracers of Protection, which this guy needs a lot more than Father Ill-Earth does, because his main protective thing is not actually his protection, but rather his insane regeneration. He regenerates, I think, 20 plus health a turn. Just, I mean, it's insane. His HP regen is bonkers. He has to take so much damage in one turn to actually take appreciable hits that he's effectively invulnerable from conventional damage, unless he gets hit really, really hard. Like maybe Ulm could do something against this guy. I don't know. Anyway, just sort of moving troops around presently. I think the way I end this is I start sieging Vanheim, but there's this big Ermor army here. I start sieging it because I don't break the fort immediately in one go. I get this Melkart out, but I forget to forge winged boots, so I'm doing that this turn. By the way, Stellar Focus got replaced by Ermor, which we're all very sad about that. But he had no PD on Ermor, or on Vanheim, so I'm able to take it. I'm moving all these troops over here. My hope is to get this Melkart his air shoe, so that way he can fly over here, and then I could take this army and walk them back into this forest, which again is risky, because it's a forest. It's got Wild Hunt up, so I'm just asking for these mages to get assassinated. But maybe I'll get lucky. And then turn 65. The Russ AI is just trying to fight me. We still don't destroy the fort in Vanheim, but I see Ermor is moving his guys to come get me, so I run away. I've got Samwise as my new prophet. These guys just walking around, just patrolling. And I'm sending this big Jewish man with all this equipment. Not really a frontliner, but it's just going to supplement the army's survivability. He's pretty good against Vanheim. Like, he's got pretty good protection. He should be able to cast... Yeah, he'll be able to cast Phoenix Pyre on the turn that it matters, so that'll be big. Getting another Melkart. I was making these Hornblowers because I was thinking I could walk into the ocean and siege this province down because there's not much there. And it would be nice to have an underwater castle. That would make me pretty sticky, pretty irritating to remove. Also, someone in the comments talked about reanimating Ashdod Undead. So I did that. Not really to great effect, but I did get some of these guys. And these guys are great. They're pretty cool. They've got good stats all around. I mean, MR is poor, but they're undead, so what can you ask? But they're not bad. They're not bad at all for just a handful of death gems. They really demonstrate that Lanka's skeletons are just trash by comparison. And maybe I should reanimate more. I've got lots of death gems. It's sort of just free units that my opponent has to deal with. Yeah, I think I'll consider that in the coming turns. I'm not predicting that there are many turns of this game left. Urmor is still in a big commanding position, but I totally forgot that this Hydromancer was over here. If I was paying attention, I would have taken this Melkart over here and walked him over here to intercept this Hydromancer, because this is pretty obvious what he's doing here. Yeah, I believe Lanka owns... Oh, that's a cool Dominion effect on that cloud. I believe he owns, like, all of this. So he's got a nice chunk of land. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish thrones, but he needs 6. So I'm not sure where he's going to go to get the next one. Maybe over here? Maybe he'll just come and take mine. Maybe he'll hit Vanheim back here. Or this one, which could be doable. Unsure. But he is informing me that he will be able to end the game somewhat soon-ish. Like 10 turns, 20 turns, somewhere in that range. Still pretty long game. Anyway, my throat is shot, so I'm going to wrap this one up. Apologies for it being shorter. But next episode will definitely have a lot of action-packed battles that I can assure you. So, see you.